What's going on, guys? Zach Devine here, back with part 3 of our chord voicing series. So in part 1 we discussed major 7 chords. In part 2 we discussed minor 7. So now part 3 is going to be dominant 7 chords. So same as with the other 2 parts of this series so far. We're going to discuss root on the 6th string, root on the 5th string, and then root on the 4th string. And as we've done before, we're going to change the chords for each set of strings so that we're staying with our lowest possible position being our root position. And we're not jumping around. That's something for later. That's when you get more comfortable. Okay? So dominant 7 chords. So root on the 6th string, as always, is going to be using our 6th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. So that's our E, D, G, and B strings. So for our first chord is going to be an F7 now. So when we're dealing with dominant 7 chords, if I say major 7, you know I want major 7. If I say minor 7, you know that's minor 7. If you just hear letter name 7, that's dominant. Okay? You'll hear it called any number of things. You'll hear it called a dominant 7. You'll hear it called a major minor 7. But far and away the most common is you'll just hear 7. Okay? So anytime you just hear letter name 7, you know that's dominant. Okay? So we're going to start with F7. So as before, let's break this down real quick. So if we're dealing with a major 7 chord, we need a major triad plus a major 7. That's all diatonic to whatever key we're in. So if we're in the key of F major, we would need an F major triad, which would be F, A, and C. That's the root, 3rd, and 5th. And then we would need the diatonic natural 7, which would be an E. So our F major 7 would be F, A, C, E. In order to turn that major 7 into a minor 7, we would have to flat the 3rd and 7th. So now we're not dealing diatonically in the key of F. Now we're using a different key signature, but we would have an F. The 3rd would be A flat. The 5th would be C, so that would be our minor triad. And then the E flat would be the flat 7 or the minor 7. That would give us an F minor 7. Now dominant 7 chords are really cool because they actually combine the 2 ideas and they go, all right, we're going to use a major triad with a minor 7 on top. So it's really cool. It gives you a very, very unique sound that is very, very specific to dominant 7 chords and is one of the coolest sounds and most useful sounds in music. So what that means for us right now, trying to spell an F7 chord, is we need a major triad. So we need the F, the A, and the C. That's our root, 3rd, 5th of our triad. But now we need a flat 7. So whereas before playing an F major 7, we had F, A, C, and E natural. And then we played the F minor 7, F, A flat, C, E flat. Now we need F, A, C, and an E flat, okay? And it's a really cool sound, and what we're going to do is it's going to sound like this. So it's basically a cross between the 2 shapes. So we've got the major 7 shape look like this, and then the minor 7 shape look like this, and now it's a hybrid. It looks like this, okay? Very, very cool sound. So let's walk through it. We've got the F on the low E string 1st fret. We've got our flat 7, which is our E flat on the 1st fret of our D string. We've got our natural 3rd, which is our A natural on the 2nd fret of our G string. And we've got our 5th on the, which is the C on the 1st fret of our B string. Okay? And now we'll move to 1st inversion, which will be A as our root. So now we have A here. We have our F at the 3rd fret of our D string. We have our C, which is our 5th, at the 5th fret of the G string, and we have our E flat at the 4th fret of our B string. Okay, so now we've got root position, we've got 1st inversion, and now we're going to move on to 2nd inversion. So root is going to now be, or the bass note I should say, is now going to be the C. So the 5th in the bass is the C at the 8th fret of our E string, and now we've got 7th fret D string is our 3rd, which is A, and now we've got 8th fret of our G string is the E flat, which is our flat 7, and we've got the root of the chord F at the 6th fret B string. Okay, so we've got root position, 1st inversion, 2nd inversion, and now 3rd inversion is probably the easiest of all of these. So we're just playing E flat at our 11th fret E string, and then right here we're barring across the D, G, and B strings all at the 10th fret, which is giving us C, F, and A, which is our 5th, root, and 3rd. So this voicing is 7th, 5th, root, 3rd. Okay, so we've got root position, 1st inversion, 2nd inversion, and 3rd inversion. Okay, and now we'll move on to root on the 5th string. So once again, now we're changing over to B flat major. B flat 7. Once again, we're doing that just to avoid having to jump around and use our inversions in ways that we're maybe not ready to yet. So we just want to see all of the inversions with the root position, or otherwise the root note of the chord being in the lowest position first. Okay, so that's not going to be the case very often. Like if we're playing an F7, we would be here, 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 and here, and then as soon as we went to the the 5th string rather, now our root position with our F as the lowest note is all the way up here. So we would have to then adjust. Okay, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to switch over to B flat 7 instead to just keep all of our root position chords right down here. All right, so now B flat 7 is going to be B flat, D natural is our natural 3rd for the major sound, F is our 5th, and now we have an A flat. Okay, so we've got B flat, D, F, A flat. Okay, and our root position chord is going to start here. 1st fret A string is going to be our B flat. 3rd fret D is going to be our F. 2nd fret G is going to be our A. 1st fret G is going to be our A flat for the flat 7. And then our 3rd fret B string is going to be our D, which is the 3rd. Okay. Once again, just as before in every other video up to this point, for the root on the 5th string chords, we're dealing with the middle 4 strings. So we're dealing with A, D, G, and B. Okay. So there's root position. And now for first inversion, we're going to come up to the D, and we've got D on the 5th fret A string. We've got our A flat, which is the flat 7, at our 6th fret D string. We've reached back here to the B flat, which is our root, on the 3rd fret G string, and we catch the 5th, which is F, on the 6th fret of our B string. Okay, so once again, we've got root position, and now we've got first inversion. And now we're going to come up for second inversion. Low note, our bass note is going to be F for the 5th, and that's going to be 8th fret A string, so that's F. And now we're going to have 8th fret D string as our B flat, which is our root, and then 7th fret G string is going to be our D, which is our 3rd, and then 9th fret B string is going to be our A flat. Okay, so one more time, we've got root position, first inversion, second inversion, and now we've got third inversion. So now we're going to start with the A flat on the 11th fret A string. We're going to play D, our 3rd, on the 12th fret D string. 5th is F on the 10th fret of our G string. And then root is our B flat on the 11th fret B string. Okay, so one more time, we've got root position, first inversion, second inversion, and third inversion. Okay, and that brings us to root on the 4th string. So now, once again, we're moving to E flat 7. So now we need E flat, G, B flat, D flat. So the G natural is our natural 3rd to give us a major triad. The D flat is our flat 7 to give us a minor 7 sound to combine with the major 3rd to give us that dominant sound. Okay, so now we have E flat on the 1st fret of our D string. We have B flat on the 3rd fret of our G string. We have D flat on the 2nd fret of our B string, which is our flat 7, and now we're catching the G natural at the 3rd fret of our high E string. Okay, and now that's going to bring us up to our dominant 7 shape for the first inversion. So now the cool thing about our 4th string voicings for dominant 7 is the first 2 look alike and the second 2 look alike. So I was always able to really easily memorize these specific shapes. So I'll show you what I mean there. So we've got root position is here. If we move up 3 frets, or I'm sorry, not 3 frets, so we would come up 1, 2, 3, 4 frets technically to our G on the 5th fret of our D string. And then we're going to have our D flat occurs at the 6th fret of our G string, and now we're going to have E flat at the 4th fret B string, and B flat at the 6th fret of our high E string. We have this shape. Okay, so if you look at these shapes, imagine that I'm barring this. It's not necessary in this instance, but just for the sake of argument, let's say I'm barring this, right? The first finger is just flattened out anyway, right? So when I move up to here, if I were to move up, obviously that's a different chord, but now if I just take this second finger and move it from the B string to the D string, now I have the first inversion of that E flat 7 chord. So that's what I mean when I say I feel like they look a lot alike. That and that to me are very, very similar shapes. Okay, so then that's going to take us to second inversion. So now we're going to come up to the B flat, and here's where you'll see the other similarity between these two shapes. So now we've got B flat on the 8th fret D string, we've got E flat on the 8th fret of our G string, we've got G natural on the 8th fret of our B string, and we've got D flat right here at the 9th fret of our E string. So there is our there's our E flat 7 second inversion. Okay, so we've got root position, first inversion, second inversion, and now we're going to go third inversion. And now check this out, we just simply move up here, and now we've got D flat on the 11th fret D string, and if we were to bar this like we did for the minor 7, we've got E flat, G flat, B flat, I'm sorry, D flat, G flat, B flat, E flat, right? And that gave us a minor 7. Well, the only note that needs to be changed is the G flat needs to move back to a G natural. So that just happens right here at the 12th fret G string, and we can see these two shapes look a lot alike. Okay, so one more time, we've got root position, first inversion, second inversion, and third inversion. Okay, so as always, let's see if we can run all the way back through these and see if we remember them. So we've got root on the 6th string, F7, root position, first inversion, second inversion, third inversion, and now we'll go root position, root on the 5th string for our B flat 7, and then first inversion, and then second inversion, and then third inversion was here. There we go. And now we've got root on the 4th string, we've got root position E flat 7, we've got first inversion E flat 7, we've got second inversion, and then we've got third inversion. All right? So that is our 4 different chord shapes for each of our 4 sets of strings, or for each of our strings, root on the 6th, root on the 5th, and root on the 4th. All right, so that was dominant 7. So we've only got one more video to go, guys. We've got minor 7 flat 5 chords, and we will be wrapping up this short chord voicing series. So remember, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel, and check out the other videos too, and share them with everybody. Thanks, guys.